but I wanted to go and see what was happening. And so because there were people who signed up as being Buddhists in the British Army, and because that there was a duty of care to such personnel, that the government had to organise spiritual care for those who signed up as Buddhist. So they have established a Buddhist chaplain, and the Buddhist chaplain wanted to have a Buddhist chaplaincy program on one weekend. And I happened to be in town at the time, so I was invited to one of the military establishments outside of Andover to talk to the Buddhists. When I went there and I told other people I was going there, of course that question was asked. Is that what in Buddhism we call right livelihood? To be a soldier? Because those of you who know your Buddhism know that the ethics and morality in Buddhism is so passive and non-harming. And part of the Eightfold Path is called right livelihood. In other words, if you have a livelihood which causes harm or hurt to other beings or to yourself, that's not considered to be on the path of Buddhism. So I always assumed that being a soldier was wrong livelihood. You're a bad Buddhist if you can be a Buddhist at all being a soldier. But then again, the armies are sometimes useful in this world, if not essential. And the role of armies has been changing. At least it should have been changing, and much of their role is sometimes in peacekeeping. But more than that, when I went up to see the people who were soldiers, I was very impressed with their sincerity and their integrity. They were committed to being Buddhists. They respected its philosophy and a way of looking at the world. And they really wanted to be Buddhists. And so there was as much of a problem in their own trying to bring together their Buddhist practice and their Buddhist ideas with their career as a soldier. There was as much problem for them as there was for me, just trying to figure out where they were at and what they were doing. But it's their sincerity which really impressed me and made me think again, is it wrong livelihood to be a soldier? Can you be a soldier and a good Buddhist at the same time? It reminded me of another sort of assumption which some Buddhists had a long time ago. Is it all right to be, say, a homosexual to be a Buddhist? And of course, not having been grown up with homosexuals or lesbians or transgender people, being a straight guy in London during my 60s, sometimes I didn't know until coming to Perth. You got to know, befriend and respect members of the gay and lesbian community. And there's nothing wrong with being gay, lesbian, homosexual, whatever, and being a good Buddhist. It's how you practice your sexual life makes you a good Buddhist or not such a good Buddhist.